Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy Pod, presented to you by DSM Media, as well as your host, myself, Slim. You can follow me on X at Arturo30111. You can follow your other host here at Scotty Drum. And as you can see by the title today, we will be previewing the NBA Western Conference teams, ranking them 1 through 15, giving our takeaways and opinions on how we think that these teams will end their season up. And yeah, we'll dive into the Kaminga situation. Finally got resolved. Finally, after 3 long months. And then also my guy Scotty over there, Grimes, that situation got resolved as well. But before we dive into any of that, my guy Dre, Scotty, how are you doing on this fine Thursday evening, my brother?
You had to retrace your days, right? But
Yeah,
nah,
yeah, it kind of slowed down a little bit.
it's
It's been
been
a
a
long day.
long week, bro. We was just talking about it before jumping on here. But it feels good. It feels good to get on here with you and talk some NBA. We had the preseason. It officially started today? Was that the
Mhm.
first? I
Yep.
know it started for me as a Sixers fan, but I wasn't sure if that was the first game to be exact. But yeah, the Knicks and the Sixers squared off at noon this afternoon in Abu Dhabi, and Sixers get beat by double digits. They went like 2 for 30, 33 from the 3-point line or some shit. It wasn't a great showing, but it was good to see them boys back out on the court and just seeing NBA basketball, man. It was great to have it back. So I'm excited to get into this with you this evening, my man, and really break down this Western Conference because this is arguably the most interesting, and I mean I think for both of us the most interesting conference in the NBA, even with the East being shaken up by injuries and such. The West still has most of the power. So this should be fun. And then, like you mentioned, man, some big restricted free agents getting signed as we dwindle down to the start of the season here. So these guys are they want to get back on the court, and that's what I do like about them getting this finalized. Because I was wondering how far they would take it. You know, would they push it to the limits and really withhold themselves from playing basketball for these teams this year just over a
Right.
contract or their estimated value, I guess you could say. But no, it was nice to see those deals get done. Let's start with your boy Kaminga, though, man. How are you feeling about getting the Jonathan Kaminga deal done? And your situation's a little bit different than the Quentin Grimes because you actually got Kaminga for multiple years. So not only does it secure him on your team for multiple years, it also makes his contract more tradable if you do decide you want to move
Definitely.
on from him. So how are you feeling? Do you love keeping Kaminga? First of all, do you love that's where you are now rather
Yeah,
than
for
moving
sure.
him?
Yeah, for sure, because he provides this team with something that we don't have, and it just that raw athleticism that he brings. And yeah, man, like how do I feel about it? Just like finally, like this is something that has lingered on, just about 3 months, and I had never seen nothing like this before this situation just happened. And yeah, I'm just glad for it to finally be solved, man. It
Yeah,
pretty much freezed our whole off season in a sense. Like recently we just pretty much made all our moves. We signed Al Horford, Steph Curry, Desmond Melton, GP2. And yeah, man, I'm just glad for it to be done. And with the contract situation, it's not necessarily multiple years. It's really like a 1+1, like because it's a
it's a
team
player
option.
option. Oh, it's a team
There's
option.
a team option.
Oh,
So
okay.
this season he's gonna be making like it's like a 2 year, $48 million deal.
Yeah,
So yeah, but nonetheless, I'm just glad that it's finally over with.
that is interesting. It's a team option, and I saw that basically the alternative deal that was out there for Grimes was a 2-year player option on the second year.
Oh,
So,
really? What was the number on that? Because
man,
I
I
did see that
want to say
y'all offered
39
him,
million.
yeah, 4 years, 39. But before getting to the
No.
grind, I got some other things I want to say about Grimes, but I'll wait till we get done with Kaminga first, because I got to voice my opinion on a few things that I've
Yeah, because you
seen.
saw some of the numbers that he was asking for,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
and I
we,
have
we
to.
can we can get there, man. But I do want to just share my thoughts on Kaminga real quick because I know how long you've been wanting to get that deal done, wanting to secure that future with Kaminga. I know that it. I don't know. I'm not going to put words into your mouth, but from my perspective, listening to you talk about Kaminga, it feels like maybe you even value him more than what the Warriors themselves do. And you can correct me if I'm wrong there. I don't want to speak for you once again, but that's just the way that's what I pick up on when I talk with you about Kuminga and the Warriors on this show. And so when I look at Kuminga, I look at an athletic forward that can obviously score the rock. He's turning into a consistent 3-level scorer. He's been working on the 3-point shot. He's got athleticism, obviously, that can translate to defense if he gets his mind right and focuses on the right things. He has the right people around him in Golden State. It all makes sense. It makes sense for him to be there. But I'm just surprised that, I guess it's what happens as time goes on and money becomes the focus, and these players and these agents and social media gasses these players up so quick. And I guess that's where the tension comes, where, I don't know. I look around the restricted free agent field outside of Giddey. Kuminga probably fared out the second best.
Definitely.
Cam Thomas got $6 million, I think.
Yeah, because Thomas and Grimes, they didn't get a payday.
What did Grimes get? Do you have the numbers in front of you? I was about to look.
It was a 1 year, $8 million. The qualifying offer that y'all offered him, he took it.
$8 million. Okay.
And Cam Thomas, the same 1 year is like 6.9 or something like that. So Josh Giddey, he got like 20 million, 4 years. So overall, $100 million contract. I said $100 million contract. And with Kuminga, pretty much like a 1 year, 22-ish. So because the second year is a team option. So yeah, but I think that overall it's a win. His Bucks, his agent, to your point with the social media, has been on this media tour, bro. And we have never seen an agent during a negotiation period go. This man was on podcasts.
It's a new age of sports.
He was on podcasts talking about this, bro. He was like on different shows, radio shows, just talking about how things been going. I was like, man, this is ridiculous, bro. Steph was pretty heated though, because he didn't directly say his name, but if you pick up on, he was talking about Jonathan Kuminga agent. Basically saying how he can speak for himself and so.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Kuminga, he's a guy that's very high on himself. I mean, he turned down like 3 years, $75 million, bro. And where he come from, that's a lot of money to turn down. But if you're very confident in your game, and which he is, he just really want more control over his future, which makes sense.
So the 3 year 75 that was offered previously, like not this offseason?
No, this was offered this offseason.
This offseason, he
3
didn't
years,
take that.
$75 million team option. He wanted a player option.
In the third.
Yeah.
The third year. Okay.
But they didn't give it to him, so he just took the 2 year, $48 million team option. So he'll have a little bit more control of his future,
Yeah, okay. That's interesting, right? Because you get $24 million a year, right? It was $48 million for the 2 years.
Yeah, like 24. Yeah,
you get $24 million for a year, basically, and then the team will have an option going into the next offseason. That's interesting. It's interesting to see how all of this works, and also on the other side of things, these teams that aren't willing to go into the different taxes, the different tax breaks, or not breaks, but the different levels that they go into that they're going to get taxed out of the ass. So they're not willing to go into that. And that's what happened with the Sixers, ultimately not wanting to offer Quentin Grimes a multi-year, $20 million. I think the most that they got up to was around 16, 17 million a year.
That's fair though.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw it to you, because I obviously have thoughts on Quentin Grimes and the 1 year deal. Where are you at? Because I got to watch this guy for maybe a little bit under half a season last year, play for the Sixers, play his ass off, by the way. But some of the numbers that were being thrown out there were just ridiculous for a player of Quentin Grimes' stature. Like, no disrespect at all, man, but an elevated elite role player? Like, am I tripping by saying that?
At best, yeah.
At best.
Well, he's not an all-star type of dude.
No.
All NBA. You seen what George Niang told him at the free throw line that game. Like, you go be in the corner when Tyrese Maxey and Joel and Paul George get back. Which is the truth, though. Like, I'm pretty sure this was Daryl Moore and the 76ers front office mentality. Like, hey man, you may have ended the season up pretty strong, but bro,
Yeah,
like you're not going to have the same role that you're having now when everybody's healthy. At best, maybe fourth option. You can debate that between him and McCain. You know who gets the shots up between
yeah,
them. But bro, you're not averaging 22 alongside Maxi, Joel, and PG. That's not even possible for real. So, in saying that, like I seen the number he was looking for, and this is coming from a legit source in Shams, bro.
yeah.
30 million is crazy. Like
That's
he
crazy.
he requested 30 million a year, bro. Like that is insane. Like I don't know what these guys agent be smoking, but dog, there's no way you really thought the Sixers was going to give you 30 million. Now, to be fair to your point, you said about 16, 17. In my humble opinion,
That makes sense.
that's more realistic for real. Because even like Grimes, if the Sixers offer him that, you can say, well, let's just do like a 2 year deal revolving around that. Just to kind
Yeah,
of line up with the Joel Embiid
yeah,
timeline
yeah,
and just see how things go. You don't have to be here long term.
yeah,
But I will say this though, him taking the qualified offer not the worst thing because now we'll see if your team is healthy, how he'll really fit
yeah.
alongside those guys
Like
and
a
what
test
his
run.
yeah, and then after the season is over, you can kind of see how much you would really pay him or other teams willing to throw him that bag that he ultimately trying to get. But I didn't really see the Sixers. It made no sense for them to pay him that much money for real. So
Yeah, I
unless
I agree.
unless I will say this,
Yeah,
it's one of those balloon contract situations. Just like you guys did Kenyon Martin a few years ago.
yeah,
If you were to throw down like cost like 20 million and just use it to get y'all a power forward because y'all desperately need one. Because I see
yeah.
y'all depth chart and Kelly Oubre at the four is not it, bro. I'm just being honest, bro. It's not it. So
It'll be PG, bruh.
I mean, you heard what he had to say last year about playing small ball center. You heard that. He made some
He
comments
said,
like,
"Hey, he said in the opening press conferences he's down to play some four this year. So
yes.
we can
Well,
hope. We can hope.
we'll see. But in the modern day
I
era
feel
with
you though.
basketball, bro, like
Rebounding.
PG really is a four nowadays. If I'm being honest. Like
Yeah.
the
No,
game
no,
has
I
just
agree.
translated more small ball. So, but nah, with Grimes though, it ain't the worst thing he took that qualifying off for real.
Yeah, we'll go trade him for Tari Eason. No, that's actually what the 1 year deal kind of takes off the table for
The
us to
no
make a
trade
move like
clause.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is interesting in that sense, but I ultimately like bringing him back for all the reasons you listed. We'll see how he gets to fit there. I like that they didn't overpay for him. And part of the reason, man, when you look at like the guard part of this team, it's like you said, we need a power forward. You know what I mean? Like we need a power forward. We need like a young rebounding type of wing in a sense, right? A defensive focused wing. And obviously Quentin Grimes is not that. When you look at what we've been able to draft the last few years, we have
Yeah.
now stacked up VJ Edgecombe, Jared McCain, and Tyrese Maxey in that guard department. Now, obviously, they're all three different types of guards, but it feels like by next year, if those three are healthy, those three are going to be in the rotation. Those three are going to command the guard minutes before a Quentin Grimes would. And that's why I just can't see them giving him that type of bag because they have enough depth there that they can get by without
Yeah, for
having to
sure. Yeah,
give a bag like that. You know what I
because
mean?
yeah, like not to catch up, but like VJ, like depending on the type of season he have, I'm pretty sure y'all be more confident with him going to year two.
Yeah.
So like if Grimes is asking for like a crazy like number, you
Yeah.
found with just letting him walk.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think this year you give that opportunity, right, to VJ and Grimes.
Mhm.
Go out there and prove who wants to be here long term. You know, whatever you want to do. Maybe VJ ends up being more of a three and he's not a two guard. Maybe he turns into more of a wing, athletic wing type player. He's a little bit smaller for that type of role, but you just never know where it can go and how these guys can mesh and fit together. But right now, I would probably say, man, I wonder though, what will Grimes start? Because McCain's going to be out to start the year, so you'll have Maxi. It's
So
like, do you start Grimes or VJ?
I think y'all should start Grimes.
I do too.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know if he really sit down like that no more. Because when he with the Knicks, though, he's one of the best point of attack defenders in the league. So, shit.
I think he can. I think he can. It's just last year, for example, when you're on that Sixers team, no Embiid, no hope really of doing anything. Why? What, you're gonna lock in defense? You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not going out there and locking up every night if my team is like not competing for anything for real. I mean that questions the integrity of the game, but
Yeah,
still,
for sure. Yeah.
my man was going out there scoring 20 plus. That's out of nature for him. He's probably not defending as hard as what he usually does either. So
Yeah, so
it's
yeah,
interesting,
I
man.
think he should
It's a
start,
good
bro.
thing. It's a good thing overall. Yeah, and I agree. I think he should start. Especially when you think about Paul George and Joel Embiid being back in the mix. But
Mhm.
interesting to see how free agency played out this season, specifically the restricted free agents. This shit
I'm
just
just good.
drug
I'm
out.
glad it's over, bro.
Yeah,
I promise you.
like just having uncertainty about your roster, right? And that's just not what you want to go into the season with. So I'm happy they got it done. I think the deadline was before preseason. Otherwise, there would probably be some further maybe some penalties, some fines, maybe something of that nature. I'm not sure, but luckily it didn't get that far, man. Let's get into this Western Conference though. We mentioned Kaminga. We're obviously going to talk about your Warriors in this discussion, but basically the way we're going to do this, man.
So
And
the
we
way we
discussed.
gonna do, Andre?
Yeah. You say it like that, bro. We discussed it before the show. This is a group decision. No need
Oh
to
my
get
god,
salty,
bro.
Slim. My bad, bro. We're just gonna go down the list of teams as it's listed on ESPN app. So if you guys are watching the show, if you want to follow along, know in which order we're gonna go, you can get right on the ESPN app, go to the standings, go to where the Western Conference is, and that's the order we're gonna go when discussing these teams. Nonetheless, man. So Slim, you gonna start us off here?
Yeah, let's kick it off, man. So first we have the New Orleans Pelicans. Is that correct?
That is correct, my friend.
All right. So for me, man, I got the Pelicans ultimately finishing the season being the ninth seed. I feel like
Okay.
Zion, he's slimmed down. He's going to be locked in. Just hoping that he stay healthy. You see the addition that they brought in. They brought in Jordan Poole, Looney. Dejounte Murray eventually going to come back. Herb Jones going to be healthy. You seen how Trey Murphy in this season? Now he was balling.
Yeah.
So that's something to build off of. Got a good coach in Willie Green. So I mean, I feel like they could be in the mix of being in the play-in. So yeah, I got them finishing being a nice seed.
Okay, I like it, man. You're actually higher on the Pelicans than I am, which I'm surprised because obviously I have my Zion
I ain't
intrigue.
say
Or
all that because you know how you can get. So,
I actually got New Orleans finishing 13th in this conference, man, and it's when you get into what I would say 9 through 13, I feel like is very gray area in this conference. But I ultimately just went with the fact that they can never stay healthy. That Zion
yeah,
factor of him never being able to play enough games. You had Trey Murphy out for a significant amount of time last year, I believe. DeJounte out for a significant amount of time. So it's like they can never stay healthy. But if they can stay healthy, I do agree with you. I think they can be right in that play-in mix. That's where I'd probably cap them at, is that 8-9 range. Anything above that, I just don't see it. But you mentioned some of the additions. The one that I do like as well is that rookie they drafted, Derek Queen out of Maryland as well. They
oh
added him
yeah,
to the
yeah.
roster.
Forgot about him.
We'll
Yeah.
see if he can find his role within that team because obviously they have is it Yvonne
Missy. He
Misi?
should get some run though, because they don't have outside of
Anybody else?
yeah.
Right?
He should definitely get some run. Well,
Looney.
Yeah, Looney, yeah.
They'll be able to kind of balance that out. But nonetheless, though, I think the Pelicans have a chance to get into the postseason. I just don't trust the health of their roster
Hey,
over
that's
some
fair,
of these
man.
other
I'm not mad
teams.
at that though.
So next we have the Dallas Mavericks. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first on this one? We can go
Uh,
back and forth.
yeah, it don't matter. I could kick it off again.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All
Let's hear
right,
where you
so
got. I'm
for me,
interested.
I have the Mavericks right above the Pelicans with the eighth seed.
Okay.
Anthony Davis going to be his first full season with the Mavericks. We're seeing how he was kind of getting the groove of things last year as the season was coming to the end. So that's something to build off of. They got the number one overall draft pick in Cooper Flag. I'm pretty sure he's going to live up to the hype. Kyrie Irving, he's going to be down to start it off, but he can potentially come back.
Yeah.
But they still got some solid role players. They signed D'Lo. He have his moments, then he don't have his moments. So then you got Clay, PJ Washington, Marshall. They got this overall solid team over there, man. So I think that they can be good enough to be the eighth seed in the West, man. They're one of the best, I think, defensive teams, not just in the conference, in the league in general.
Yeah.
They got the wings, they got the bigs. So yeah.
No, I do like that, and I do have a follow up question for you regarding the Mavs. Like, obviously, I'm imagining they're lower because of the Kyrie injury. Like, if he was starting the season, they would be a little bit higher. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
they will for sure be above the team that I have over them.
Okay. Okay.
If he was healthy, I would have him above the team that I have. So,
So I want to ask: do you have them as a contender with Kyrie?
like if he never got injured fully healthy.
Well, coming back from injury, like if and when they get Kyrie back, do you consider them
Nah,
a
I don't
contender?
know, cause we have to see what Kyrie looks like. We
Yeah,
really do, bro. Cause
it's fair.
Kyrie is not the type of person that relies on a ton of athleticism, but we ain't finna act like it's just not a part of his game.
He
Like
is quick. Yeah,
getting downhill, getting to the rim,
yeah.
acrobatic ass layups and shit. So yeah.
Quick decision making. Yeah, no, I agree. It definitely is going to depend heavily on Kyrie. So maybe my ranking of them isn't necessarily fair, but I got them at number 7, man. So
Yeah,
right at
man. Yeah.
the beginning of that play-in tournament. But I agree with you. I think ultimately when you look at what they've been able to put together since the AD trade, I mean, I would still take Luka, but uh, it's fair out. It worked out by getting Cooper Flag ultimately, and I think that he'll be able to kind of keep them afloat early on in the season. Now he'll have his growing pains, every rookie does,
Mhm.
but while Kyrie is out, I feel like you can run Cooper Flag in that like point forward type of role for this team, which I
Mhm.
think could make it really interesting. They can get really interesting with their lineups with PJ Washington, Lively, obviously AD, and then Cooper Flag. They can mix and match those guys. Najee Marshall, Klay Thompson back. So yeah, everything you said, man. I got them finishing 7th in the West. But I do think when Kyrie comes back, I think they can actually contend in the West. Obviously, once again, barring injury, AD, Kyrie, Clay, right? Like these guys got to stay
Right.
healthy ultimately.
Yeah, for sure. Health matters, bro. Like your room for error in the Western Conference is so slim. Like
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So they come in at number 7 for me, man. It's hard to measure like the injury impact. You know what I mean? Like it is hard to measure that because there's a couple of teams you could say that about. The Clippers too, but the next team on the list, my man, is going to be the Denver Nuggets.
okay. So for me, man, the Denver Nuggets, I have them finishing being the second seed in the Western Conference. They pretty much revamped this whole roster. They went out there, got Cam Johnson. You could kind of debate the difference between him and MPJ is not as much, but still, the way I look at it, they ultimately flipped MPJ for not only Cam Johnson, they got Bruce Brown back, Tim
Yeah,
Hardaway Jr., Valanciunas,
yeah,
Bruce Brown, and yeah, plus they already have Jamal Murray, Avon Gordon, and this would be their first full season under their new head coach.
yeah.
And yeah, Jokic still in his prime, still doing his thing. And so I got them finishing number 2.
That's so interesting, bro, because I have them in this same exact spot. I have them as the number 2 seed in the West.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I ultimately wrote down that they're going to return to dominance this year. I think you'll get a motivated Jokic this season. With just the way the season finished last year and the last couple seasons all together, I just feel like they've kind of underachieved or it's kind of fallen off towards the end of the season. nonetheless, I think they bounced back this year. They ended up getting Cam Johnson, who for my money is better than Michael Porter Jr. Like,
Okay.
just a better overall player. We'll see if he fits better with Denver, because I think he can do more with the ball in his hands, right? Like, I think he can score off the dribble. I think he can play make off the dribble. So I think it does give you a different option. Now, the thing with Michael Porter Jr., he was pretty good rebounder for them.
Yeah,
So
he was for
can
sure.
Cam Johnson kind of fill that void? You have Aaron Gordon there with Jokic, so you shouldn't worry about it too much. But nonetheless, I love that fit. And then you mentioned Bruce Brown, who obviously they won the NBA championship with. He was a big ass piece of that roster that contributed towards that championship. And I think just kind of righting your wrongs and bringing him back is the right move as well, where he'll be able to come in and fit seamlessly right back into that role that he had previously with them. So it is interesting. And you mentioned Tim Hardaway Jr. as well. That's another sharpshooter and option off the bench that they'll have. So I do. I like the Denver Nuggets to return to dominance, compete for a championship this year, and we'll see Jokic at the back at the top of those MVP standings again, of course, because I think they built this team correctly around him ultimately.
Yeah.
Next, we've got your Golden State Warriors, my man.
Golden State, man.
What's up? What's up?
None biasly speaking, I have been finished to being a 6 seed.
Interesting.
And
Interesting.
we can still be dangerous if Kaminga growth accelerates. If the veteran pieces that we went out there and signed contribute at a high level, we can very much so surprise some people. But the reason I feel like this is fair because, bro, at this point, it's not about us winning regular season games. We're just trying to get to the playoffs, bro.
That's fair.
We
Yeah.
ain't really trying to just try too hard. And, by the time we get to the postseason, we burnt out. I mean, these guys are old now, goddamn. I ain't scared to say it. So, I got us finishing in the 6 seed.
That is so interesting. It surprised me, man, because I was thinking, maybe Slim comes in, gassing the Warriors up a little bit. They get Jimmy back for a full season. You've made some recent additions with Al Horford. You got Kuminga back.
I will say this.
What's up?
If we were to be like a top 4 seed, I would not be surprised.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised, bro.
And that's fair because I have you guys as a 5 seed in my rankings ultimately. I think the full season with Jimmy, I think that does matter for y'all. I think, obviously he was playoff Jimmy for Miami, and that's where he could really hone in and make his mark with them. But I think with the Warriors, you still got to continue to build that chemistry with he and Steph and figure out those rotations. So I think having him for the full season is really going to help y'all a lot.
Definitely.
The main thing, once again, just staying healthy, keeping Jimmy healthy, keeping Steph healthy, and I think you guys will operate like a well-oiled machine. I do like the additions that you've made. I think getting Kuminga under a contract is good for his mental and him just kind of moving forward with his career and trying to go out there and prove himself. So I like where the Warriors are ultimately at. I do think you make a great point, though. They don't need to really do a ton of regular season winning. They don't need the 1 or the 2 or even the 3 seed, honestly. They just need to stay out of the play-in tournament. That would be the main goal for me as a Warriors fan or as a Warriors coach. Yeah. Get them to the playoffs healthy and stay out of the play-in tournament.
That's all that matters. Just get to the playoffs, not the play-in. The playoffs is all that matters, bro.
Lock in 6 seed or better. No, I feel you for real.
That's
we got the heat of the Western Conference coming up, quite honestly, man. Next up is going to be the Houston Rockets.
Okay, so for me, man, I got Houston overall finishing being the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. KD plus the rising young stars on the team. If the fit is right, they're very threatening to make a deep playoff run and potentially go all the way to the NBA Finals. And I will say this. They did lose a piece in Fred VanVleet, who was a huge piece.
Yeah.
Starting point guard, bring that leadership, a dog on both sides of the ball. But like I told you, they can make some moves. They have the pieces to go out there and trade to get a guy with that similar play style, so yeah, but I got them overall finishing in the 3rd seed, man.
I like it, man. I like it. I actually have the Houston Rockets finishing in at the 4 seed,
Okay.
despite the injury to Fred Van Vliet. It definitely hurts. I think maybe you could argue them for the number 2 seed with the addition of KD. I mean, I'm not putting them over the 1 seed, obviously, but I think the room is there to grow this year with that trade for KD. He brings in experience. He obviously brings in uh, the most talented player on the roster, right? Like that's what he becomes when he joins the roster. So I think Houston is going to be fine. They will have to figure out the Fred Van Vliet. I was getting ahead of myself. Fred Van Vliet void. They're going to have to figure out that void on the roster. Maybe it's Reed Shepard, or maybe it's a trade like you mentioned. But I think they will ultimately figure it out nonetheless with the roster that they have capable of putting around that said point guard piece. I think they'll be fine. I got them finishing fourth, man.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
The next team is going to be the LA Clippers, bro, which is a very, very interesting team.
Man. I have the Clippers finishing being the 7th seed, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say this like the three-headed core they got of Harden and now Bill and Kawhi.
Yeah.
If healthy, they can still be scary in a sense. Not too scary, but injuries and depth will always be like looming over them because we all know Kawhi, his history with injuries. I would get this to Harden. The past couple of years, he's been more durable. And he has been having like a ton of injuries. And Bradley Bill, that's something he's been dealing with over the course of
Yeah.
his career for the most part. And yeah, but when if they can be healthy, man, they can be a threat in a sense because they brought in Chris Paul. He's still good at what he do. Brought in John Collins, so that's a good pickup. Still got Zubac there. So yeah, man, I got them finished in the 7th seed.
I think it's fair. I think that's fair. I ultimately have them finishing as the 6th seed in the West. But I think when you count in the Kawhi injury concerns, as always, you count in Harden's age, obviously CP3's age, so on and so forth. I think you have to factor that into where they finish it throughout the season. Obviously, Kawhi's going to miss games. Harden may miss some games here and there. And that's going to cost them. I do agree with the additions. I think they made some great additions this offseason. Obviously, mid-season last year, they added Bogdanovich. Who was there? Somebody else they added in mid-season? Am I forgetting someone?
It was definitely Bogdanovich and well, I know. I just thought they did sign Brook Lopez this offseason.
Yeah, they definitely added Brook
Yeah,
Lopez
they
along
added
with
him.
the guys that you had mentioned as well,
Uh,
CP3 and
it may have just been Bogdanovich. Oh, Ben Simmons, but he's not there no more.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So
He signed with them. Yeah.
nonetheless, you get Beal, you get John Collins, you get CP3, you get Brook Lopez, you added Bogdanovich last in mid-season last year. I like the depth that they've built. I like the way that they play. I think it is championship worthy play. It's just a matter once again of getting to the postseason healthy. And with all those question marks, it's hard to imagine they do that. But
Mhm.
nonetheless, I have them finishing at 6. They do got some nice depth to kind of keep them afloat throughout the season.
For sure.
Next up is that other LA team, the LA Lakers. Man, where do you got them?
Ain't no doubt. Like, ain't no secret to history. The Lakers have my Warriors, but I ain't gonna like be. I'm a judge the right way, and I have them finishing being the 5th seed overall. Just to see
Okay.
above us. It can easily change. I will say this: like they went out there and got Aiden, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah, from Memphis.
Um, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, so they went out there and got those guys. I think that'd be pretty good additions to the team. Plus, they already had. This would be Luca. He has slimmed down. He's healthy, and I think that he's due to win MVP, bro. At some point, he's just due to win it, and it can be this season. So yeah, he's locked in. He's slimmed all the way down. I don't know what LeBron mindset at because I've been seeing some reports about like him wanting a contract extension or something. So I don't know about that, but they still got the foundational pieces around Luca. All the
Yeah.
right pieces, lob threat shooters. JJ Redick did a phenomenal job as a first-year head coach, and he's
Yeah.
earned a contract extension because of that. So, yeah, I got them finished to be in the fifth seed overall.
I like it, man. I like it. I have them a little bit lower than that, but I
I'm
think
not
it's
mad at
fair. I think that's fair. I would probably cap them at 5. What would you say about their cap?
it. Hey, I'm not. Hey, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. I think the teams that I have above them is just better.
Yeah. That's kind of what I mean. But in this 5 to like 9 range, I can see all
It's
of these teams.
interchangeable.
Yeah, I do think that, man. But they came out to 8th for me. Ultimately, I do
A
like.
Lakers fan would not be glad to see that. Oh man.
I don't know. Maybe I am slipping. I don't love the Fits. I don't love them. I think they're solid. I think they'll be a good team. I think they'll be a challenge to any team out there when you have Luka and you have LeBron. But I don't like love DeAndre Ayton. And it's not even really the fit. I just don't love DeAndre Ayton as a winning basketball player.
Okay, that's fair. That
But
is fair. That's
he
fair.
can prove me wrong playing with Luka. He proved that he can, I guess, kind of be a winning basketball player in Phoenix when they were able to go to the finals with him. I don't know if you would.
He
He
pretty
did the
solid.
same with CP3, right? And
Yeah, he was solid during that run though.
you've got the vets there in LA that maybe can get into his head and get the most out of him. The LeBrons and even the Lukas that are just an otherworldly playmaker. But I don't know, man. There's just something off about this team for me in the West, especially. I just feel like they don't have enough. And I know that it's not even fair to question it, but like once again, like is LeBron going to come out and just average 28 this year? Like eventually he has to slow down. Like maybe I'm tripping. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he can just average 30 into his 50s and do what other players have never been able to do. But in my eyes, he has to slow down. And maybe slowing down is just like 24 points a game or 23 points a game or 22 points a game. Maybe that's it. And maybe he's more of a playmaker in a sense. I do agree with you. I think this is Luka's team now, though. I think they've made that clear with their – you mentioned the contract extension talk or no talk in reality. You know what I mean? I think they've made it clear that they want to move forward with this being Luka's team. And I think we'll kind of see that identity this year. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, man. They come in at 8th for me, though.
Okay.
I just like these other teams more. That's what it comes down to.
I'm not mad at it. I ain't taking no form for it. So after the Lakers, man, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is a team fresh off a Western Conference Finals appearance. And Julius Randle, he had one heck of a season overall. It was a figuring out process, but overall, he ended up fitting in pretty well with those guys. So for me, man, I got those guys finishing being the 4th seed.
Okay.
Heading into next season. Strong two-way foundation. If Evan ever takes that next leap, then hey, who knows what the team ceiling is, bro? Because his potential is you just don't know. It's just out the roof. Like he can just average 33 going to next season. His ceiling is just that high. But no, man, I like the piece that they got around there. Even Rudy, man. I know I talk a lot of shit about him. He has been pretty solid. I ain't gonna say great. He's been pretty solid the past couple of years, especially last year. So
it seems like they know how to use him a little bit better. Like they know when to take him off the court.
Exactly right. And I'm gonna be honest, a guy like Nas Reed helps with that because you can, whether they playing together or he just comes in for him, that really helps him out a lot. So, overall, man, just got those guys finishing being the 4th seed. I feel like they can build off what they did last year.
I think that's a great point, man. Let me ask you something off of that. And you don't have to give me too much detail because we're going to have a whole other show on NBA regular season awards. But is Anthony Edwards a top 3 MVP candidate for you this year? It's a loaded question. The only reason I ask, he is for me.
Top 3? Off the top of my head, no, he's not. Not off the top of my head because I just think like,
it's fair.
I got SGA, Luka, and then Jokic. I think that.
Okay, I think that's fair, and you can throw Giannis out there too. He's another guy that's gonna pop into that conversation for me again this season. I just think that's part of the Anthony Edwards ascension. I think that getting to that next level of competition, of impact to the game, because what we're talking about is ultimately playmaking, man. He just needs to become a better playmaker for his roster and for his team. And just so we can see, because obviously he's getting double teamed, triple teamed in these postseason series. He needs to work on moving the ball and figuring out the best ways to get the most out of the guys around him. And I think in return, it'll get the most out of him. I ultimately got the T-Wolves finishing number 3 in the Western Conference this year. When I first looked at them, I was like, man, they really didn't like make any significant additions. But then I started thinking about the players that they started to give a little bit of rotation towards the end of the season last year, and Terrence Shannon Jr. and Rob Dillingham. And it's like, if you can just get those guys into the rotation, they can take another step this season, specifically Rob Dillingham, to take Mike Conley's spot in that rotation. If he can successfully do that, I do like them finishing as a top 3 seed. And I do think he'll do that this season, man. So I like what you said about kind of keeping that roster together and them kind of growing together. They're just going at it again and giving it another shot. They had a great season with Julius last year. I thought he fit really well. And I think these young guys will be able to contribute. And I do agree with you. I think Anthony Edwards takes his game to another level. So we'll see, man. We're both pretty high on Minnesota.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Rightfully so. I would, yeah, like you said.
Type of season they had. Because
Western Conference
a lot of
final.
people didn't expect for Julius Randle to be a good fit, and he's proved them wrong. So
yeah. No, I completely agree, man. So who we got next?
We got Phoenix, man. The Phoenix Suns. The new look Phoenix Suns. They got Jalen Green, Mark Williams. They got Malawach, and Dylan Brooks. So for me, man, honestly, bro, I got the Suns finishing being the 11th seed, right outside the play-in tournament. I just think it's gonna be a figuring out process, because we know with Jalen Green, the main reason why Houston traded him, he's young. He still figured out.
Yeah.
With just his inconsistent level of play. And it's not a rebuilding mode, it's like a retooling mode. The next year or two will show like whether they can reboot in contention or not. We just got to see what their backcourt of Booker and Green ultimately looks like. So that's why I got these guys at being the 11th seed. I don't have them as high as others may have them. So, yeah.
Yeah, and fair enough, because I went back and forth with this Phoenix Suns team. They're kind of confusing because of the move that they made, like trading KD, getting Bradley Beal off the books. But somehow it feels like they could maybe be better than what they were last year, right?
They really could. If the pieces around them just buy into their role. Hey,
Devin Booker back in that definitive number 1 option role, he might thrive there again. Mm-hmm. I think your point about Jalen Green, I think the big thing for him, man, consistency. Find that level that you can hit every single night. If you overachieve, that's great, but give us this basement performance every night. You cannot come out and have 4 points in the postseason. Not as a prolific scorer, the ability that he obviously has, the athleticism, the shooting ability. There's just no reason this guy can't get more than 2 buckets in a postseason. That's what I'm saying.
Because he gave us 34 in game 1 of the playoffs or some shit like that.
And then I swear, bro, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I swear he scored 4 points. It was either 4 or 6. It was one of those, because I'm just like, this man.
Yeah, in the playoffs, he went to bed. It was 4 points or something like that.
This man can't get more than 2 buckets in a game that lasts 48 minutes. It's a bit ridiculous. He needs to work on his consistency and just simply having go-to moves, right? Things you can go to get buckets. Right. That's what all the great scorers do. Right. I have Phoenix in the exact same spot, bro. Number 11. So
it's valid.
It makes me feel better because I wasn't really sure where to put these guys, but I'm glad we met right at 11, bro.
Is that so? You're glad about it, so you want to be the only person.
So I don't feel like an idiot.
So when the Phoenix Suns fans come for you want to be the only person they come for. So
you gotta come for both of us.
But so next up, man, we got the Portland Trailblazers, man. Hey, no lie, this is a team. I think they have a pretty good year, And that's why I got those guys coming in, being the 10th seed, making the play-in tournament
Okay.
next year.
Okay.
When you look at the veteran they brought in Dame Dollar. He's back on the team. He's not going to play, but he's going to be around. Drew
Yeah.
Holiday. I think that this team has potential to be one of the best defensive teams in the league, not the best, one of the best. And young, strappy, fun to watch. You know, they got some young players over there like Scoot Henderson, Shaden Sharp, who can take a massive leap this season, man. So, yeah, man, for the sake of it, I got those guys being a 10 seed, bro. You know,
I
switch it up a
like
little
it.
bit.
I like it. I like it, man. That is very impressive. I'm interested to see who you have at the bottom of the conference now because I have Portland at number 14. I don't have them at the
Okay,
very
okay, that's
last team
fair.
in the West,
Okay.
but
No, that's not fair. No, that's not fair, bro.
I look
That's
at
not
the.
fair.
Why do you feel that way? Why
That's
do you
not
feel that's
fair,
not
bro.
fair, bruh?
That ain't fair, bro. Like when you look at this team compared to previous years, I feel like they can do something. Not like in terms of winning, but they can do a little something to get to the play-in. They
I'm
got some
not saying they
defense.
can't.
You
I'm not
know,
saying they can't. I think the Western Conference is fairly talented, like 1 through 15. Like all of these teams, except for maybe one, has a chance of getting into the play. And maybe that team even does too. Maybe I'm sleeping on that
no,
team.
no, you know the team. You know it though, bro. It's a reason that y'all passed up on old boy. You know, so, nah, bro, we not doing
But I don't know. It's interesting, bro. I ended up going with Portland at number 14. I do agree with you. I think they can be one of the better defensive teams in the NBA.
that. Mhm.
It's just who is going to be that like go-to guy for them, like that guy that can give them 20 plus, 25 plus a night. I just Sharp. Okay. Okay. All right. If he can be that this season, maybe they can sneak into the play-in tournament. I think it's possible with the defensive identity, having Donovan Clingan down there. Obviously, that's a young guy. You have Denny Avia. You mentioned Shaden Sharp. He's on the rise, and you added Drew Holiday back to this roster, man, who is obviously a defensive wizard as well. So it's interesting. I do think Dame Lillard will have a positive impact on this roster as well, even though he won't be playing. And we'll see what they can do, man. I do have them at 14, but that's with respect. I think they'll still be a fun team to watch, but the West is tough.
Yeah. So next up, man, after them we have the Sacramento Kings. And for me, man, I got the Kings finishing being the 14th seed in the Western Conference.
Okay.
They have talented players over there. Just don't think that they have enough. You know, they traded Darren Fox last season, and they pretty much, I ain't gonna say been on the decline since, because they did get Zach LaVine in the deal. And
Yeah.
Sabonis gonna be Sabonis, DeMar gonna be DeMar, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't translate to winning for real. It's just like a lot of
Yeah.
ISO play. And I kind of feel bad for Keegan Murray, man, because he's the guy I'm very high on, and I hope that a winning team gets their hands on him very soon. They still got Malik Monk over there, but I'm just not high on this team, so that's why I got them finishing being 14th seed.
I feel that. I feel that. I'm not much higher on them myself. I have them coming in as the number 12 seed in the West, so they're not in the play-in. They're not looking at the playoffs in any type of fashion. Like we discussed, I believe it was in the shooting guards episode about Zach LaVine. He quietly had a great season last year for Sacramento. It just didn't get appreciated. Like Sabonis, he had quietly a great season. DeMar DeRozan quietly put up 20 plus points per game last year. To your point, it just doesn't conclude in winning basketball. And I think we may have seen that core and if you want to call the core, Sabonis and Malik Monk, I guess. Chris Murray out there. So is that the right Murray?
Keegan Murray, Keegan.
Keegan Murray, my bad. Chris Murray's the other one. You got Keegan Murray, the sharpshooter out there. He's proved he can do a lot more than that of late. So it's interesting. Once again, I don't think they have enough to compete at a high level in the Western Conference. So they come in at number 12 for me, man.
Yeah. Hey, that's fair, man. That's fair. So next up, man, we have the San Antonio Spurs. Recently
Interesting.
acquired Darren Fox earlier this year. And for me, man, they have a high ceiling, but they still developing chemistry. And the injury risks are like that big wild card. So I have no finishing being the 13th seed.
Okay.
To start the season, now Darren Fox not even going to be available to play, and
Yeah.
I think Wimby not going to be as well, because he's still dealing with that blood clot injury he had going on. So yeah, that's kind of where I got them at. The West Conference is loaded. When healthy, we'll see what they can do. But even if they healthy, I don't think they have like the enough pieces around them. They have a lot of young talent, but just not like win now pieces around them for real. Like not enough. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I really do. I have the San Antonio Spurs finishing a little bit higher. I actually have them at my 10 seed as the last team in on the play in. Maybe this is a little bit more of hope than maybe what is actually reality, to your point. I want to see this team in the postseason. I want to see Wemby in the postseason. I want to see De'Aaron Fox and Wemby tandem in the postseason. But you may be right. I may be getting ahead of myself here, and maybe they do need a little bit more time to grow. But I think Wemby's in his third season now, right?
Hmm.
It's time for him to kind of grow into like the player, the caliber player that he's going to be, which should be a superstar caliber player. With the blood clot, it does kind of derail it a little bit, but I still expect him to reach a really high level this year. You hope De'Aaron Fox doesn't miss too much time. That's the big one. That's the main thing, because you want to get those guys playing together. You got Stephon Castle down there. You got Dylan Harper added to the roster now from the draft this year. So you got to get those guys playing together, building that chemistry, to your point, early. And that'll probably shape how their season will play out ultimately if
Yeah.
you can get Dylan Harper back into this rotation, because I see he's a game time decision coming up. If you can get De'Aaron Fox back within the first month or the first 2 months at least
Hmm.
of the start of the season, then they can stay afloat. But yeah, I do have them finishing 10th, man. Maybe it's more out of hope.
Yeah, probably so. I ain't mad at it, but so next up, man, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is pretty obvious. I'm pretty sure the both of us can agree on this.
Yeah.
Being the number one seed in the Western Conference, the defending champs, they have the young legs to be the number one seed again. Still the benchmark, returning most of the core. Chemistry plus continuity, like huge edge.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they can very much so build on what they did last season, which was a special season for them. So yeah, I think SGA is still be in the MVP conversations. Check could potentially be an All Star this year. J Dub, he's going to continue to keep getting better and better. Still got the veterans, Dort and Caruso. So yeah, man, I got those guys being the number one seed in the Western Conference. Yeah.
Yeah, no, excuse me, obviously agree with you. With
Oh,
OKC
obviously, huh?
being the number one seed. Yeah, where else are they going to come? Think about the
Exactly.
seeds that are left on my chart here. No, the Oklahoma City Thunder, obviously they're the champs, but I think it's the fact that they were levels ahead of everybody else. It felt like last year at times as well. And I think they'll be able to continue with their youth. You think about their team compared to the other teams in this conference, they're the one team where all of their major core is fairly young or in their prime. You look at SGA, he's in his peak of his career. J Dub obviously fairly young, like you mentioned. Chet young, and this team's just young in general. So I think that's why they will be able to maintain that dominance during the regular season, specifically, right? The biggest thing, man, they didn't make any major additions. Am I forgetting anything? They didn't make any major additions this offseason,
Um,
right?
no, the only thing, well, they're going, that guy that they drafted, Nikola Topic,
He's
last
coming.
year, he's
He's
gonna,
getting added.
yeah, he's gonna get some run this season. So that's
Another young player. So
another young 6'7" point guard. So
that is a pretty good addition ultimately. Because what I had written down, like no major additions, but obviously no major subtractions, which is even bigger.
mhm.
But I mean, that's a pretty big addition. Another young, talented guard, 6'7" guard to add to the mix for OKC. I think they continue their dominance, and I think this goes on for years to come. Like maybe not one seed every year, but they're going to be in this conversation every year. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So next up, man, we have the Utah Jazz. This is pretty much self-explanatory as well. I have those guys finishing being the 15th seed. Like simple as this, they are a deep rebuilding team. Minimum expectations.
Yeah,
Simple as that.
yeah. Does Laurie Markkinen, does he last the season there?
I think teams would be looking to get him. He's
Right?
7 foot. He can shoot. You know, I think teams be looking to get him. I don't.
I do too. I
He
feel like
probably
his
won't last
value
long though.
has I feel like his value has shifted down a little bit
That's fair. That's fair.
since the what was it, Cleveland? Was that where he was like really shining for a little bit? Am I tripping thinking that? Was it Cleveland or was it
No, it was with
Chicago?
Utah. It was with Utah.
Oh, maybe so when it was maybe when he first
Cause
got to Utah.
he was an all star in Utah.
You're right. Yeah, you are right. You are
He
right.
was an all star.
They add Ace Bailey to the mix. We'll see how that works out. Obviously, we discussed him a lot on this show leading up to the draft. They added Kevin Love. I think Georges Niang is back down there in Utah
Yeah,
as
they got
well.
used to Nurkic down there. Like, oh
Yeah.
my god,
Oh, just to be clear, they're the last team on my list as well, bro. Number
bro.
15, the
No.
Utah Jazz. Like, nah. In this conference, hell no. But I like the way you put it. No, there's very low expectations, so there's no pressure there to go out and win.
Yeah,
This is a team that's built around developing.
Ace Bailey should go out there and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is his type of setting.
Yeah, he got rid of his agent. More power to him.
This is what he wanted. All right, respect.
And last but not least, we
Last but
have
not
the
least,
Memphis Grizzlies. Man, this is a team. Obviously, we talk about New Orleans being cursed. Unfortunately, we talk about the Sixers. Are they cursed? Memphis, I'm starting to think, are they cursed? To start the regular season,
it
man,
could be.
they would not have no big. Zach Edey just got injured.
Wow, I did not even
Jared
hear
Jackson
about that.
Jr. The moment he got that extension, got injured. So I
What's
think
his injury?
huh?
What's Jaren Jackson Jr.'s injury?
I don't even know, man. I think it happened like during the workout or some shit. Like they happened during the off season, right before he got, just after he got that extension. And Zach Edey, this just happened like a week or two ago.
Yeah,
And so I
you're
think
right.
that they only have like Chuck Landale on the team as a center.
It
So
looks like right now, Jaren Jackson Jr. expected to return October 22nd. So that's like right after the
oh
start of
really?
regular season. That
Oh,
it's just an estimate, so it could
oh,
be
okay,
it
all
could be
right, all right.
wrong.
Okay.
For Zach Edey and Brandon Clark, it looks like November 7 is the estimate.
Yeah, Brandon Clark. I forgot about him. He was injured too. So, but overall, man, I have this team finishing being the 12th seed in the lower Western Conference. They still loaded with talent, but like durability and consistency like remain questions. Like, can Ja get back to that level he once was a few years
Yeah,
ago in the MVP talks? Can
yeah.
Jaren stay healthy? Brandon Clark, all those guys. What KCP looks like with these guys? Um, yeah, that what it comes down to me. Can they just be healthy? So
Yeah. No. I think those are all great points, man. You talk about KCP. Is he going to be Orlando KCP or can he be a little bit of Denver KCP for
oh
this
my
team?
god,
Like
bro!
just
I
a little
like.
bit.
I don't know why you even said that because I'm not even an Orlando fan, but me watching those playoff games, bro, and seeing the way this dude was breaking, I was texting a group chat with you and D-Ray. I was like,
Yeah.
bro, I don't get it, man. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
It don't make sense.
it
He got
don't,
the
bro.
bag and stopped practicing
That's what
shooting.
I'm saying, bro. You
Like
got this
I don't
payday.
understand.
You just cannot shoot no more. And no, I did not bet on this dude. That's not why I'm mad.
No,
It's
it's not
just
even
like,
like that. It's not even like that.
yeah, bro. Like, he
This
just
dude
forgot how
was
to shoot.
horrible in the postseason, man. No, I agree with you. I ultimately have them finish in ninth in the Western Conference. Now, to be frank, I did not know about the Jaren Jackson Jr. injury, so it does deter me a little bit. Just because I would like to see him and Josh starting the season out together and then really get off on the right foot. Because, like you said, they've been really unlucky the last few seasons, whether it's Ja off the court or just injuries, whatever the case may be. Always worried about injuries with Jaren Jackson Jr. But I do like this season for like a Ja Morant revenge tour type of setting. And maybe revenge is just the ninth seed in the Western Conference. But I do like him to return to that elite guard level this season. And so yeah, I went with Memphis at the 9 seed. They added this rookie Cedric Coward, who I was really impressed with leading up to the draft. And they added the 6th man of the year. Is that right? Am I remembering that correctly? Ty Jerome?
Yep, Ty Jerome. Yeah.
Did he
win 6 man? Did he win?
Did he win it? Did he win it? Am I getting that wrong?
He probably did, because
did he win 6 man or did he win? Who won most improved player?
Dyson won most improved.
Dyson won most improved player, so it wasn't him. So yeah, I think Ty Jerome.
He probably did, bro. Yeah, because I know Malik Monk didn't win it. I know. Yeah, I think he did win it, bro.
Ty Jerome, 6 man. I was so sure of it before the show.
He was.
No, Peyton Pritchard won it. Peyton Pritchard, wrong white guy.
I knew why I was unsure about that. I was like, I don't know.
Wrong white guy. No. Ty Jerome was a top 3 finalist for the 6th man of the year. My bad. But nonetheless, that's a good addition. We'll see if he can, pan out. He had a rough postseason. They picked up a couple guys that had some rough postseasons for real, but we'll see how they can pan out. Hopefully they get Edie and Brandon Clark back very soon. That's going to be very important for them. But nonetheless, they come in at number 9, man. That's it. We got through that. I'm surprised we got through it like within an hour.
Hey, it was a pretty smooth transition. You set it up pretty good. I
appreciate that.
Yeah,
appreciate that, Slim.
You set the team, and then we both elaborate on it. So
yeah. Eastern Conference should be very fun. We'll be getting into that. I believe tomorrow. We'll discuss it.
Yeah, we'll get it in for sure.
We'll discuss it. We'll get it in sometime before next week, of course. But just keep an eye out for the Eastern Conference rankings. I'm looking forward to that one, obviously. But anything else in the Western Conference before we move on to the next segment, my man?
Nah, that's pretty much it, man. So that will lead us into the weekly segment of who you got. So out of all of these Western Conference squad, man, who do you got making the biggest leap from last year to this season? Not just record-wise, but impact, playoff position, and overall the vibes in general. Like, who do you have making the biggest leap?
This one, this was a very, very tough decision to make because it's hard in the West to pick like a young team that's going to prosper. I think the team that ultimately fared the best for me in my rankings, and it just really relies on injury and health concerns, right? And I'm talking about the San Antonio Spurs, man. That is the team that I'm kind of rooting for in the Western Conference, to be honest. I want to see Wembanyama in playoff basketball. I want to see him at the top level of competition, and I want to see what it looks like for him. But obviously, De'Aaron Fox is a guy that we discussed on this show heavily throughout the last few years of doing it. And he's one of my favorite players, maybe. I don't know. I just like the way De'Aaron Fox plays. And I think that's going to be exciting basketball between him, Wemby, throwing Devin Vassell, throwing Stephon Castle, throwing Dylan Harper. There's a lot of exciting young talent, and I'm just hoping they can kind of put it together this year and make a jump and maybe scare some teams in the postseason. That's ultimately what I'm looking for from San Antonio Spurs this year. So out of all the teams on my list, I think that is the team that's going to make the biggest jump, just from my perspective, man.
Okay. That's what's up, man.
What about you?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with the New Orleans Pelicans. I've been rooting for Zion, but like we got a taste of him being in the playoffs.
Yeah,
we're not in the playoffs, like in a playoff type of atmosphere.
Yeah,
Man, he was going crazy, bro. He gave the Lakers like 40 points. He was locked in defensively.
Yeah,
it's crazy to say that Zion has been in the league like 7 years and he has not made the playoffs once.
It's crazy.
So I think that it's time for him to just lock in, man. Lead this team to the postseason. I like the pieces that they got around him. If they can stay healthy, I feel like they can make a big leap, man. I'm not going to necessarily say they're going to win a title or anything, but they could definitely be in the mix of things where they can stay healthy. continue to keep building off one another. DeJounte Murray, he's going to be back at some point during the
Yeah.
season. Herb Jones still one of the best wing defenders in the league today. Pretty sure Trey Murphy is going to keep growing and growing as a player. You've seen the leap he took advantage of the opportunity last year, showing that he was just more than a spot-up shooter. He was a bucket overall. And Jordan Poole, Looney, I just like overall the
Yeah.
pieces that they have around Zion. He has slimmed all the way down. I don't know if you've seen it, but the man is slim. So we'll just see if he can keep it up. But that's what I got, just making the biggest leap from last season to this upcoming season, the New Orleans Pelicans.
I do like it, man. That's just another team that is they're always there when you think about the Western Conference, like healthy. They're there. But they just never are able to put it together throughout the season, whether it was Brandon Ingram being injured, CJ McCollum being injured, Zion being injured, whatever the case may be. If those guys can stay healthy, the Trey Murphys, the DeJountes, the Zions, they'll be in great shape. And to your point earlier, I know you mentioned Jordan Poole. I'm interested to see what he looks like next to Zion, spacing the floor, all the attention that goes towards a guy like Zion. How does Jordan Poole look like playing beside that? But it's interesting. They added Sadiq Bey, too. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Fears, the rookie guard. So they got some exciting pieces there in New Orleans, man.
Yeah.
Jordan Hawkins.
So I was going to say, shoot, the way I look at it, man, like, to your point about how the Pelicans is always there, like they've always kind of had the pieces around Zion. It's just a matter of him being healthy. Like even when they had Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, all those guys,
it was a solid squad.
So it was a solid team overall. Just by him staying healthy, that's what it's going to come down to. So.
Do you think this team is like when healthy? Do you think this team is better than that team?
This team now?
Yeah, this team now versus Brandon Ingram era.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree, and I think they're just much deeper. I think the youth is better to be around Zion specifically. So, no, interesting pick, man. You got New Orleans, I got San Antonio. There's a lot of superstar level talent, two superstar level talents between those two teams, I would say. But the Western Conference as a whole, man, it's going to be a hell of a season. I'm just happy it's basically here, bro.
For real, bro. We finally made it, man. It's been a long, long summer.
It has, bro. It has. Oh, man. Anything else before we get out of here, Slim?
Nah, that's pretty much it, man. You're not sure we're going to be able to do it tomorrow? Or, like, the link up again?
No, if you're sure, then we can definitely get it in tomorrow. Yeah.
All right, well.
Yeah, we just hadn't talked about it any further, so that's the only reason I said that. But yeah.
Turn on notifications on, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't, because we're going to be right back again tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Previewing the Eastern Conference. I'm pretty sure that'll be fun. My guy Dre, see if he's going to. Damn it. I'm not meaning to say that. Scotty.
Putting the government out there.
Oh, my God. Damn, bro. Scotty, bro.
It's all good, bro.
We're going to see if he's going to be biased towards those Sixers over there when we're doing the Eastern Conference. So it's going to be fun. That's what it's all about, is having fun.
You already know.
Yeah, we're going to be back at it again tomorrow, bro. And yeah, appreciate all the love, man, for sure.
Yes, sir. Thanks for getting us out of here, Slim. Happy Thursday, y'all.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
And we'll see y'all for Happy Friday tomorrow, Eastern Conference style. Peace. Everybody.